Hello everyone, my name is Sana Ziama, the founder of Xity. Today I'm going to give you a condensed version of what Xity is and what are the important information that you need to become a future Xity resident. So let's get started. The hope is that at the end of this talk, you will get a pretty good idea of what Xity is and what are the necessary steps you need to take and to become a future resident of Xity. So the first thing to note is to have a concept of what Xity is. Firstly, just quickly some fundamental things I want to clarify here. Xity is spelled Xity. It is not XCITY, as I have learned that people have the tendency to do when I get emails and inquiries coming my way. I tend to see that mistake a lot, and I think I know why that is happening, because of the pronunciation Xity. When they hear Xity, the thing is X, and then there's an extra C there. It is not the case, and again, the pronunciation is Xity. Having gone through this basic phonetics and some very low-level details, let's get to answering the actual question. So, Xity is a micro-technology city, and what that means is that it is going to be a city on a smaller scale. It is not going to be a very huge area. So we are talking about a city about the size of around 280 acres of land. The next thing people tend to want to know is, but where is this city going to be located? So Xity is going to be located in Margibi County in Liberia. And it is right off of the Roberts International Airport Highway, or the RIA Highway, for those who are familiar with the Liberia geography. So it is also going to be a green and sustainable city. And what do we mean by green and sustainable? So the green here simply means that we are going to be using the resources in Xity in an environmentally friendly way. So for instance, we are going to be trying to ensure that we do not destroy the environment by the way we dispose of waste and things like that. And it is going to be sustainable in the sense that the resources that we are going to use, for instance, in terms of like electrical power and other utilities and other resources that we are going to consume, we are going to make sure we source them in such a way that they do not deplete those resources for future generations. So for instance, our electrical power is going to be sourced from solar farms, as opposed to using diesel fuels or to use other sources that are non-renewable. It is also aspiring to be the center of learning and innovation in Liberia, and besides that, we are trying to build a culture of industry. And what that means is that we are going to be hardworking people who are going to build knowledge-based institutions, particularly businesses, within the boundary of Xity. It is also going to be a safe place for people to live, learn, work, and play. There are many more things that you can read about on Xity's vision doc, and the link is in this PowerPoint presentation. You can click on the link to see more. But a gist of the idea of what the vision is about, and I will just read this clip that I took from that vision page. And it says that the vision for the X team is to establish Xity as a vibrant place that serves as an incubator for top-notch educational institutions, high-tech businesses, research and development facilities, and healthcare service institutions where people desire to work, live, grow intellectually, and create, and as well as play, of course. So having told you a little bit about the big vision for Xity, the next question that comes to mind is, how are we going to achieve this? And so we've done a good work in the background to think about what are those things that we need to build within Xity, and what are those things we need to create that will ensure that we achieve this vision. So one of the things we thought about is that if we are going to be that area that is going to be the center for innovation, we better have a technology park. And the purpose of the technology park will be the home for people, young people who are innovative and who are skilled, to build the next generation of companies. We are talking about technology companies that will solve real problems for Liberia and for Africa. The next thing we want to do is that although we are ambitious and we are thinking far into the future, we also want to be able to address existing problems today in Liberia. And to do that, we need to come down to these low-skill labors that are required and necessary to build some services and some products and build some businesses that meet the day-to-day needs of Liberians today. And that has to be done in a light manufacturing sector. So in order to have such a vibrant sector, we needed a space for that. So we are going to have a light manufacturing zone within Xity. And while we are at that, we also need a place for people to be able to take breaks and to get inspired from nature and to just rest and have fun. So we need green outdoor spaces, and we are going to create those within Xity as well. People living in a city cannot do all of these great things if they do not have a good health care. And this is why we have dedicated an entire zone for healthcare within Xity. And to enable all of these high-skill jobs and the possibility of creating these high-skill jobs and discovery of knowledge and sharing of knowledge, we need sound and better education than currently exists in Liberia. So we are going to have dedicated educational blocks interspersed within Xity that addresses the educational needs of our future residents in the surrounding communities from the very early stages of education through terminal stages. So we are talking about from early childhood education to college and beyond. The next thing we talked about was earlier, we mentioned Xity is going to be green and also sustainable. So we are going to build the green power utility blocks, and that means we are going to build our utilities that basically use power in a way that basically is respectful of the environment and also sourced in a sustainable way. So we are going to have utility blocks that are interspersed also within Xity. And then we need places where people can live, especially our young people. So we are going to have mixed-use apartment blocks. These apartment buildings are going to be very nice buildings that are well designed to basically allow young people to express their creativity in their living space. And these are buildings, they are mixed use in the sense that they are not used buildings, by the way. These will be brand new buildings, but we call them mixed use apartment blocks because on the upper floors you have apartment buildings where young people live and single individuals and single families live, but on the lower floor these will be areas that are reserved for businesses to be open. For example, this is where young people will come to their favorite coffee shops, to their favorite ice cream shops, and these will be shops that have large glass and transparent type of windows that face the streets, that are pedestrian friendly, so people can sit at the bars facing these streets and have a very good view of the busy and bustling streets from behind these very floor to ceiling large windows that they can view the streets and enjoy themselves from. We're also going to have an uptown commercial district, and this is where people who want to shop for their favorite brands, their luxurious goods and everything, they want to visit their favorite malls and have fun. These are the places where those businesses will be located. And in our uptown commercial district, we are going to have all of the best and biggest malls you can think of that exist, that carry all of your favorite brands. And this is where most of our big shopping is going to be happening for the latest fashion, the best gadgets, and all of your favorite five-star hotels are going to be located. And the last piece of this mosaic is the residential community. And this is what the rest of this talk is going to be about, and how you can basically acquire your own home within a residential community is going to be detailed out in the rest of this talk. We talked about all of the other components of Xity to tell you our big vision and aspiration for the city. However, our immediate focus is on the residential community and building all of the utilities and needs for people who will live in the residential community. In the future, we will endeavor, as we are doing now for the residential community, to build the other components of Xity. But before we get into the specifics of the residential community, we've talked about a lot of things, and we want to basically be able to show that we have the space that is able to host all of these things. And so this is a high-level sketch of what Xity is going to be looking like. And this particular layout of Xity has already been approved by the government of Liberia. So we are free to basically partition Xity as it is drawn in this diagram. So as you can see, the most northern point of Xity is going to be one of our utility blocks that we talked about. So we talked about the distribution of utilities within Xity, and this is how it looks like. So the orange colors is all of our utility blocks, and you can see how they are all interspersed within Xity. In the northernmost point, we have one of our solar farms, and this will not be the only solar farm within Xity. And we also have a green zone, which is the recreational spots. Wherever you see green is recreational. Even the little green strips that you may see are all recreational spots. And then the blue area are those will be dedicated areas to industry. So we have the light manufacturing, we have the technology park, and we have the healthcare industry as well. And the yellow spots are those that are reserved for our commercial zones. So we talk about the uptown commercial zone. This is going to be located in our upper right-hand corner of Xity. And then there is also going to be a sub-block of this commercial zone that is going to be at the waterfront of Xity. And we can talk also about the apartments. These apartments are these white rectangular blocks you see. Each of these blocks are a 2 acre of land block here. So in each of these 2 acre blocks, we will build multiple apartment buildings, and they will all be facing the streets. And within the center of these places, we have a well laid out area that will appear like a courtyard. So we'll have these apartment blocks. The buildings will be facing the streets, and then within the center we have a courtyard type of field where we have some green spaces within the center of these 2 acre blocks. But each of these 2 acre blocks will be apartment buildings. They are dedicated to the apartment buildings. And then we come to the gray spots. These are the residential communities. So we have 3 residential communities within Xity. Each of these gray spots is a 2 acre block. So let's talk a little bit more about the residential community, because I've gotten a lot of questions about how can we get property in a residential community. Well, the first thing to note is that the minimum size of property you can acquire in a residential community is a 1 lot. And 1 lot is equivalent to a 1/4 acre of land. And the maximum number of acres you can acquire in the residential community per individual or household is 2 acres of land. And we put this upper limit on this in order to have enough room available for diverse people to live in Xity. And it also helps us to be inclusive, because when we put an upper limit on what a single individual can get, we create room for many other people to be able to acquire land within Xity and build their homes. The next thing, when you are a residential community member of Xity, because these places are well laid out and we have to lay out the streets before even anyone begin to build homes here, we are going to make sure that the community members for each of this residential community are able to pay for the site clearing and the layout of their community. So we don't want a situation where people begin building when the streets are not even laid out. So as a community, we are going to come together and pay for the clearing of that particular community. Because it's a shared responsibility, the cost is going to be very limited and low. We also offer different home design choices, and we'll go through some of those choices. So if you want to be a future resident of Xity community, we give you choices that you can select from, and then we build all of the homes within Xity. And we do that because we want to maintain a certain standard of quality. So speaking of home designs, so our first home design is the Mongoose. The Mongoose is a huge single-story building. It ranges in size from 3,000 square foot to 4,300 square foot or 4,300 square foot. So some of the highlight features is that it has 3 large bedrooms, one of which is a main bedroom, and we have 3.5 baths. But that's not all, guys. It also has an office, an island kitchen, a 2-car garage, separate living and dining areas, large closets, and large windows for natural lights. The next design we offer is the Flamingo. So the Flamingo is a building that sits majestically in the sunshine, and it is also as massive as a home that gives you the opportunity to enjoy about 4,000 square foot of living space. It boasts 3 large bedrooms as well, and one of these bedrooms is on the lower floor for people who will have, for instance, elderly parents who cannot climb the stairs, or who themselves maybe later may not be able to have a bedroom upstairs. So we have a very large bedroom on the lower floor. And that's not all. We also have 3.5 baths. This building also has an office. It has a large island kitchen and other features. The other one that we offer also is called the Gazelle. As the name indicates, it is huge, it is tall, and it is beautiful. So this boasts 4,400 square foot of living area. It has 4 large bedrooms, one of which is again on the lower floor, and it has 4.5 bathrooms, a huge island kitchen, 2-car garage, 2 separate living areas, and a dining area. So you have 2 living areas, one is on the lower floor, another on the upper floor, and a dining area. So these are the home designs that we offer. So over time, we've been getting a lot of questions from people, and today I want to address some of the most popular questions that we've been getting. And I'll go through each of the questions and just read exactly what our responses are and read the questions as well. So how to contact Xity? And we have a WhatsApp number, and our number is +231 777 90 90 12. That's 777 909012. And our email address is info@xcityculture.com. When will the work begin? So this is one we often get. When do we start the work in Xity? We are very excited to let you know that the work to build Xity began in May of 2023. And we've, as part of that initial work, we've started clearing the boundary of Xity, the outer boundaries of Xity, and we've also started building a 3-acre equipment yard. So we are building the fence around there. We are building a mini block factory, which we have completed. We are just setting up the equipment currently. Plus, we are doing other types of work that is ongoing currently. Where is Xity located? Again, it is located in Lower Margibi County, Liberia. It's off the RIA highway within the vicinity of the international airport. Can I build my home myself? The answer is no. We intend to maintain a particular standard of quality throughout the community, so we will build the homes for all clients. Can I bring my own home design? Yes, you may come with your own custom designs that meet our standards. That means we are going to evaluate your design and tell you where it meets or does not meet our standards. However, we offer free and compelling designs that you can select from, and we even allow you to make small tweaks to these designs that we offer already for free. Next question: can I resell a land I purchased in Xity? The answer to that is no, you cannot resell an empty lot, but you can resell a home that you have built on that lot along with the lot. So the goal is for us to build Xity, and so we do not allow reselling empty lots of land. But if you build a home, you can sell that home along with the lot and even make money doing so. What is the maximum quantity of land I can purchase in Xity residential community? The answer to that is 2 acres of land, or 1 Xity block. As you saw in the map, the Xity community is laid out in such a way that each of the city blocks is a 2-acre block. So 1 Xity block is 2 acres. How much land is required for each home? Yes, this is one of my favorite questions, because people are interested in knowing, if I'm building this nice and massive home, how much land do I need for that? And the correct answer is that each of these homes can fit on 1 lot or a 1/4 acre. But for some of these homes, especially the higher end ones, it's never a bad idea to have extra land around it so that you can plant garden, you can do other things such as maybe a swimming pool, etc., etc. So the choice is yours as to how much land you want to put these buildings on, but we will maintain and advise, by the way, and enforce that for each building you will have 1 lot at least. Can I buy up to 2 acres to build multiple homes and sell them? The answer is yes. Again, in reference to the initial question about whether you can resell the land. You cannot resell an empty land, but you can make money by buying more than 1 acre, building homes on each of the lots, these approved homes, and then reselling them later in the future, or even now, depending on how fast you acquire your spot in Xity. Will I be required to sign agreements when I buy a property? Yes, you will sign some community housing guidelines. For instance, an example of the guidelines that will be in this document is a limit on the fence height. We want the beauty of Xity residential community buildings to show out when people are walking along the pedestrian-friendly streets. They should see the beauty of the city popping out. So we are not going to allow residents to build a walled garden. It's going to be low and see-through types of fences. So we're going to have a height limit. How will Xity ensure the lives and properties are safe? Exactly related to this initial question. If we demand that you have a low fence, the next question you should ask, rightly so in fact, is how safe are my properties going to be, or myself going to be? And to answer that, Xity's security system will be a combination of manned guarding and remote video surveillance for 24/7 patrol and monitoring to prevent crime. So we are going to adopt the posture of preventing crime instead of responding to it when it is committed. So we are going to have a robust security. How will electricity, water, and other utilities be sourced? That's a great question. Xity will supply power and water from its solar farm and water plants. So we are going to build all of those utility blocks you saw interspersed within Xity. They are going to be dedicated to electricity, water, and waste. The next question in fact says, how will waste and garbage be handled? So Xity will use internal or third-party waste management service providers. So for instance, in each of those utility blocks, some of them may be dedicated to areas that basically garbage can be accumulated for further processing. So whether this service is going to be provided by an internal company or a third party, but they will have enough area where they can have their trucks parked, right, to go collect garbage, for instance, and if possible, create an area in these utilities blocks where they can process these waste materials. Who pays for utilities and security services? This is a great question, right? Because we need to clarify exactly what is the cost structure like. And the answer to that is that residents will pay a fair monthly fee for utilities and services that will keep the community clean and safe, like the world-class residential space it will be for all who live there. What will be the cost for utilities? We cannot predict what those costs will be, but they will be competitively lower than what you get with other providers. For example, because we plan to source power from a solar farm that will be built by Xity, electricity cost is expected to be lower than what is achievable with other non-renewable sources. Who owns Xity? That's a great question. Xity is a wholly Liberian-owned entity, and it was founded by Sana Ziama, who happens to be me. Where can I go to learn more about the motivation behind Xity? We encourage you to please read more about our vision and the motivation behind it at www.google.com/view/Xity. There you will find a lot more about the motivation for Xity, the vision, and a little bit more about myself as well. Thank you very much. Once again, these are our information, contact information. We have a WhatsApp contact number here. We have an email address. And also my personal email address is here. It's spziama. It's spelled SPZIAMA at xityafrica.com. Feel free to contact me personally. You can send also your inquiries to info@xityculture.com and you will get instant response. I thank you.